So when I said I agree and I'm reporting for duty, I did what men are supposed to do. We're supposed to take responsibility even for things that we haven't broken. Males, on the other hand, just point fingers.
Breaking news just a few minutes ago out of Washington that the Federal Reserve has come out and said that gasoline prices will average at least $5 per gallon by June. And they said there's no way to stop this with what's happening in the economy. Buckle up. It's going to get worse.
The national average, as you noted, $4.39 today. And with this standoff at the Strait of Hormuz, where 1/5 of global oil flows, some analysts do see $5 gas this month.
By the time we get to Memorial Day, we'll hit $5 a gallon of gasoline. And if the conflict continues through the remainder of the summer and we still don't have resupply from the Middle East Gulf, then we'll continue to see prices continue to rise through the summer.
In 2026, you need to be looking for women that have RIA, which is Recession Indicator Awareness. She says, why do you pay for my whole set of nails when I only need press-ons? She said, I don't need you to take me to an expensive restaurant. Let's just go get my meal prep.
I went on a date and this man ordered a Long Island iced tea with strawberry added. And when I told y'all about it, y'all were like, what's wrong with a Long Island iced tea?
It had strawberry added.
I thought the Long Island iced tea was just childish. But y'all put me on and told me that it was a sign that he's cheap because he wanted as many liquors as he could get. He was looking for a bang for his buck.
He's broke, brokey.
A lot of women ain't getting dates because they don't have RIA, and we're in 2026 and nothing makes sense right now. The women that get it will thrive. Y'all will thrive, but don't come in here complaining about women want this and that because you're just not looking for the women that have the right mindset. You take it to a happy hour and she only orders off that happy hour menu. That's a woman with RIA. Now, if you can afford it, go ahead and do it. I ain't saying don't do it, but a woman with RIA is going to win.
I was thinking it's so nice out. Want to go for a walk?
Yeah, sure.
I'm Dondre Whitfield. I'm a proud black man, and I'm reporting for duty. It was recently brought to my attention that some dude obviously looking for attention, so I won't mention his name, but I will mention his tactic. And the tactic was to mention a comment that I made during a post of Funky Dineva when he said that black men are the cancer of the black community. The comment that I dropped was that I agree and reporting for duty. If you've been following me for more than 5 minutes, you understand that I do what black men are supposed to do. I wrote a book called Male versus Man, where I talk about the difference between being a male and being a man. The premise behind the book is that males look to be served while men look to be of service. The problem in society, particularly within our community, is that the black males look like the black men by virtue of the fact that we have the same structure, we have the same body parts. In my last video, I talked about how black males move from the motivation of their penis while black men move from the motivation of their purpose. Biologically, we are the same, but our functionality is completely different. So when I said I agree and I'm reporting for duty, I did what men are supposed to do. We're supposed to take responsibility even for things that we haven't broken.
One of the unique things that I've had the ability to see living overseas as long as I have is I see how a community is supposed to actually function. We call the black community a community, but communities are people that help each other. We don't hear conversations about black men, what do you need? How can we serve you? The conversation is always black men, you're supposed to, this is your job, you're not doing your job, you need to do more of your job. We're not protected, we're not the people that are getting what we're supposed to get. We are queens, we are the mother of the earth, and you are derelict of your duty. That is not community, that is service. And some people might use other words, but my point is, when I see young boys go astray here, there's a whole system to help those boys get back on track. They are not seen as disposable. That is the complete opposite of the black community, where we have young girls getting celebrated for how well they're doing in school and young boys in the same households not reading at grade level. How can we call that a community if it's not a national crisis across the community when young boys are falling behind? How is it the young boys are supposed to give into eternity, and young girls are just amazing? And is the job of the young boys to sacrifice themselves for the community? That is not a community. That is being disposable.
Karina, what up, buddy? Yo, I'm about to get Karina right now.
All right, bet. Say less. Say less.
All right, bet. Say less. All right.
Bitch, look at him.
Hey, you ain't gotta worry about paying it. You ain't gotta worry about sending it. Hey, be safe, be safe, be safe. You gotta. Chat, we'll never do that again.
When you hear calls to service for men in the community, generally speaking, that's not something that you have to beg or demand men do. If men are in the presence of women that they deem worthy of being protected, it's something that men do naturally. But if a man enters a particular area, a conversation, and they are laughing at the shape of his head, I mean, he hasn't even had an opportunity to talk, to show the kind of person he is. Does he have a good heart? Is he kind? Is he responsible with money? They don't care. It's the shape of his head that draws the ridicule from these young ladies to the point where they laugh him off of the panel. Now, explain to the young guys out there why it's their duty to serve young ladies that are finding incredible humor in just the shape of your head. I'll wait for you.
Cannot take it when women are like, well, girl, at least I got a man. Girl, babe, a man is the last
the
thing.
easiest thing to
the
get.
The easiest thing to get is a man, babe. Your husband goes to work 40 hours a week. Please don't. I'm going to buy you some diapers for a year.
Yep.
Leave me alone. You're going to get some onesies, babe. That's all I really got for you. Because when it was my cat's birthday, Mariah Celine Dion Carey.
Oh, that's a strong name.
That's my cat's name.
Come on, baby.
No one was there. No one bought her salmon. So, yeah.
Okay, fair.
I made a post a couple of days ago talking about black men. What are we doing? And why did I say that? I wasn't attacking black men for creating situations that we see play out every single day on social media. It was a rally cry to my brothers, to my fellow men in our community that I know would take responsibility for things that they haven't even broken, but we take responsibility to fix them.
Hey, this type of shit nigga be talking about. It's 5:38. We got a game at 6. They got about 7 players here. We ain't got none. Then I ain't got no kids, bro. I can be training my motherfucking self. I'm trying to. These ain't even on time. The parents ain't even on time. That shit be running in the hot, bro. Lopez. Then we lose. They want to yell at us. You ain't putting no effort in helping your son. This shit crazy. I'm gonna start yelling at their ass like a coach at a high level would do. That shit.
This is an example of a man that's being the right kind of man, as is being explained in the post, right? He's stepping up. He's helping kids when he doesn't have any kids. But the parents of the children aren't doing their job. And so how, as the man who is not the one that has the authority to make things right, able to make things right? The answer is you can't. No matter how well-meaning you might be, if you're not the one that has any authority to impose any kind of rules or structure, then you get your time wasted. And that's exactly what's happening here. But carry on, sir.
What Funky Dineva was talking about was that black men have to fix this and black women can't. He was absolutely right.
All right, let's switch it. Would you rather have a gay son or a thought daughter?
I want a gay son and a thought daughter because gay people are funny as fuck, and
thought daughters are what?
She gonna be just like me. So I'm gonna have
How about a hot dog? Huh? Hey, what's up?
I have not had a hot dog in so long.
Growing up in Brooklyn, what I learned, and many brothers like me learned, was all of the things that define masculinity, but not manhood. What we learned was, how much paper does he make?
I was a bit confused, but I found out he was coming to visit me on a Frontier Pass.
A coupon.
A Frontier Pass. And I'm like, you know what? That's not a sign that he's cheap, because I'm frugal too. I like to save money too. But
yeah, I love to save $1.
Houston to Florida and had a 4-hour layover in Florida and then flew from Florida to LA.
What the hell?
Brokie.
Brokie.
You don't have any money.
His pecs, how strong is he? Can he fight? And then his penis. In other words, how many women have you slept with? All of those things point to your masculinity, but not necessarily your manhood. The measurement of their manhood is going to come from the dedication that they have to being of service to those in their household, to those in their community, and then society at large.
And it's kind of like, I didn't realize he was cheap until I found out that he had did that. Because why did you take all weekend to get to me and we supposed to be hanging out the weekend?
14 hours to get to LA.
And then we got to the bar and he ordered a Long Island iced tea. And then I saw his hairline was colored in.
With strawberry.
So y'all want to know what really gave me the ick about the Long Island? It was the Long Island, it was the Frontier Pass, and it was the colored in hairline.
That's why he kept a do-rag on.
You take it to a happy hour and she only orders off that happy hour menu. That's a woman with RIA.
The question that I would ask this gentleman or any person that's demanding men that are not getting dates, that are getting laughed at, or do not have babies all over the community, or maybe even not even dating actively, is, can that man that is supposed to lay down his life for the community, serve the community, do for the community, able to ask a young lady out on a date and go walking and eat a hot dog? Can you go on a walking date with a young lady and go get a hot dog when you don't want to spend a lot of money because things are crazy and she's not going to laugh at you off of the phone? This may be known as the summer of the brokie. I'm sure that on social media we'll hear tons of stories about men that are not spending lots of money on dates, but we can control what we spend and what we do with our money if no one else. And so when we go on dates and young ladies are demanding guys go and spend a bunch of money in a time where gas is extremely expensive and they want to have this Instagram lifestyle that they can brag to their friends about, you're going to have guys that are going to either play broke, or be using broke as a test to see if the young lady is worth it. And those same men are going to look at the behavior of these young ladies that are laughing at men's facial structure and not giving them a chance, or calling them broke because of what they're ordering, don't want to order off of the happy hour menu, or just trying to run his pockets. And you're going to get guys looking around saying, these are the young ladies that you want us to be of service to. The conversation that needs to be had is, in a community, it is a two-way street. You get things and you give things. The question is, what are you going to give to black men if you want men to give back to the community? So far, the answer is you're supposed to. But here's the problem with that. Men understand duty. And so for a man that's part of a structure that he wants to protect, he will give to that structure, that society, that group, that community willingly without being told. So the problem is, why do you have to tell men to do something that men generally do on automatic? And the answer is because men don't see a community. They don't see a group of women that respect them, that will give them a chance when they're down on their luck or when they're building themselves up. Men that don't want to rain a luxury lifestyle on them when they are trying to budget for a future in a summer where gas is going to go over $5-6 a gallon. She wants to ball, and she wants any man that shows up to be the guy that's going to fund her balling lifestyle. And smart guys are looking around and saying, this is not the time for that. If those women don't want to follow his tutelage, his advice, what he sees coming in the future, and they want to just use him for his pocket and some fun and then tell him he's supposed to pay for things, you're going to see a brokie summer. All right. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, comment below. I'll catch you next video. Take care, guys.